Good evening, everybody, to this Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jake Taylor.
And I'm Donovan Wiseman. Jake, happy Wednesday to you. We just got through conference championship in the NFL, isn't that right?
Oh, and today we actually are going to talk something weather-related with the NFL. We've all heard about the, I believe it's being called the Deflate Gate thing going on with the New England Patriots, right? They're being accused of, quote-unquote, cheating by the rule book by deflating the footballs.
That's right, and they have to follow a regulation size for their game balls. And whenever you mix temperature and pressure, you can change the size of a football. I'm sure they'll be more aware of that when it comes time for the Super Bowl here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, right. When you fill the ball up to pressurize it indoors, you go outside. Well, the temperature was colder at the beginning of the game. It was low 50s. And the lower temperature can actually decrease the internal pressure of the ball. Now, we're not sure officially if that's what the cause was, but that has been one of the theories rolling around.
That's what they're saying, and I'm sure the NFL has something to say about that this week, wouldn't you say?
Probably. I mean, I'm sure we'll hear about it. We don't know what the punishment, quote unquote, will be, but by the end of the game, it is interesting to note the temperatures were sitting around the mid to upper 40s. So it was pretty chilly out there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's expected for this time of year. We see the Patriots in the playoffs. Seems like every year, so it's usually pretty cold up there for those football games.
All right, but anyway, back to Tallahassee. So let's talk about what we're going to be seeing generally over the next few days. Right now, it's pretty clear all around the Big Bend and Tri-State. Not much going on whatsoever, but over there by Texas, why do we care about what's going on right there? Well, this is a low pressure developing. It's going to be moving our way, and will be bringing us more rainfall, especially on Friday night. Thursday night is where we're looking for our first glimpses at it. But the big stories right now: involvement fair tonight at Florida State. Oglesby Union 7 to 9, going to head out there. But like we said on Friday, temperatures will be going down this weekend, but rain chances are going to be going up on Friday. But we do have a dry and cooler weekend in store. But for tonight, involvement fair once again, 47 degrees. Got to keep your eyes on the patchy clouds. It's going to be a mild evening with the winds coming out of the north-northeast. But for tomorrow, we do have some rain coming. Clouds are going to be high, but what's the temperature and what's the chance of rain? Unfortunately, you're going to have to stay tuned. We will get more into that later on. But for now, moving on towards our next story here, Donovan. We were just discussing the change in temperature we're going to be seeing. That had a pretty dramatic effect in California, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks ago.
It did. I guess it was while we were on Christmas break. There was a lot of frost on those lettuce plants out there. And once that happens, those plants aren't able to be used. You can't harvest those and sell those in the store.
Right. Before Christmas, it was actually warmer than average significantly. And then cold snap happened. Temperatures dropped dramatically. And before the harvest occurred, frost was all over the lettuce, so it couldn't be harvested. So all you salad lovers out there, got some bad news for you. The lettuce prices are going to be going up a little bit.
Yeah, your salad prices are going to be going up. You like those Greek salads, things like that. Luckily, it wasn't anything like corn, where it's used in other products, where that could be really bad for the entire economy. Again, it's going to mostly affect those salad lovers out there.
Yeah, this happens all the time, especially with your more severe winter outbreaks. But enough about lettuce. John, what can you tell us about the local?
It actually felt a lot more like spring today across the Big Bend. We're at 70 degrees right now here in the capital city, a little bit cooler down towards the coast because of those cooler shelf water. 68 also in Thomasville and in Quincy, 67 over in Mariana. Today we actually made it up to 73 degrees today, which was about a little less than 10 degrees above average than for this time of year. This morning we actually woke up a little bit above average, and that's because of those clouds that have been pushing through the area this afternoon. Just a couple of clouds passing through, actually clearing out in the last hour or so, and these clouds are going to be on and off for the next 24 hours. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit of a transitional day in between today feeling like spring to Friday feeling more like a deluge out there. Cool front hanging out around the area. It really isn't going to be felt across the Big Bend area. All it will be is a couple of clouds during the overnight hours tonight, but it will be dragging in a low pressure center that is now forming in Texas. It's going to dive down towards the south. This is a little bit different than what I showed you yesterday. This is going to be a little bit farther south of I-10, and it's going to be moving off towards the north and east through the Big Bend area, bringing in a lot of rain to some of these areas, between 2 and 3 inches of rainfall, widespread across much of the southern parts of the United States, reaching our area tomorrow night, and then really cranking up the rainfall as we head into Friday afternoon and then Friday evening. starting to clear out now. There is some discussion on exactly when this is going to clear out. Could be Friday afternoon, could be as late as Saturday morning, actually bringing in a little bit of snow into northern Mississippi and northern Alabama. You can see that cold air on the backside. It's going to take a while to clear out, but it will be bringing in a little bit of cool air, but not for tomorrow though. Tomorrow we're going to be heading towards the beach because it's going to be still warm. It's going to get a little bit more breezy as we head into the afternoon hours, 15 to 20 miles an hour there with a slight uptick in the surf there, 2 to 3 feet. Gulf temps still on the cool side, bringing in some cooler air to those Gulf locations as well. Heading out to, on the boat though, heading out to a light to moderate chop with afternoon showers. That sunset now surpassing 6 o'clock in the evening. Sunrise just after 7:30. 47 degrees for tonight's forecast. We're looking at north-northeast winds at 5 miles an hour, climbing up to 10 to 15 miles an hour as we get into tomorrow's forecast. Rain is coming though, 60% chance of rain into the evening hours tomorrow, mainly after 8 to 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. And then Friday, it's going to be a complete washout just about for everyone. Cooler air coming in towards the end of the week. Looking at a 100% chance on Friday, cleaning out and clearing out by Saturday. It's going to be the best day of the week if you're working on those cooler temperatures though. Warming back up as we head in towards Monday, clearing out for the entire parts of next week as well. Now we're going to take a look at the southeast forecast now with Casey.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. Let's go ahead and get right into the southeast, and we'll see the weather picture here. Our current temperatures, in fact, they are sitting, for the most part, in toward the 70 degrees in Tallahassee. Temperatures out to the west, though, a little bit cooler, sitting at 59 degrees in Dallas, even cooler up toward Amarillo. 33 degrees in toward that area, and that's really a sign of things to come. Some cooler air moving in those areas. In some ways, it's nicer conditions, though. We'll keep our eyes on that very closely in toward those areas. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at those winds. We do see the situation here, 3 miles an hour in Tallahassee. Up to the north, though, 10 miles an hour in Atlanta. A little more gusty in toward those areas, but again, not too big of a factor. We're keeping an eye on those conditions here for those communities. Now, kind of just brightening the picture out, though, there's relative humidities, 53% here in Tallahassee, up to the north and west, 30% in Montgomery. We do see a little bit less stickiness in the atmospheric conditions in toward those areas, but relatively, it's not too sticky for this time of year across this region. Relatively nice conditions. Now let's go ahead and see on that radar. Again, not too much going on in terms of the cloud cover activity or even precipitation, but unfortunately that's going to change though as we get into Thursday and Friday. We'll have a damp commute, in fact, going to work as we get in toward your Friday. We'll watch that closely here for you and just see if me and Shane will talk about it in just a little bit. The threat for some severe weather even is there, but again, not too big of a factor here in the weather situation. Now, water vapor imagery, it does show here that there is some moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's in the green color up toward Tupelo and Shreveport, and that's kind of a sign of things to come here. We're watching that closely. Now, as we get down toward Tallahassee, though, we will be tracking the situation, and some of that dry air in the orange color is kind of taking over. We're seeing nice conditions right now, but again, that's going to change as we get in toward Thursday into Friday. Again, tonight, though, we'll see 47 here in the capital city, up toward the north and west, cooler conditions, central Alabama, 39 degrees in Montgomery, and 35 degrees up toward Tupelo. And tomorrow we'll be seeing those conditions, 69 Tallahassee, 78 in Orlando, and 81 in Miami. But in that forecast for Friday, again, that's when we're expecting the bulk of the rainfall, 2 to 4 inches. 71 in Tallahassee, 78 in Orlando. We'll keep an eye on this. We'll talk more in just a little bit, but right now, let's send it over to Donovan and Jake.
Thanks so much, Casey. Thanks for taking us around the southeast. Jake, we've been talking about what's going on up north, what's been affected the soured lovers, and possibly the rabbits out there with the lettuce being frozen. What's been going on in the northeast as far as interstate and travel up that way?
Well, right now in the northeast, they've been dealing with really icy roads. Conditions have been wet and cold, and when you get on Interstate 76, for example, we had a pileup near Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, 22-car pileup. It's just been going on all over the northeast. We've had several incidents just like that.
That's right. There's been 9 fatalities, 15 people injured in that 22-car pileup. It's been really bad out there. You have to pay attention to your weather forecasts. Make sure you know what's going on, especially before you go outside, especially before you travel on the interstate. We had a situation like that last year around here when it was the snow day and I-10 was backed up and closed for a while, wasn't it?
Right. Just got to be prepared. Moving that fast, it's easy to slide. But for more on the national, Shane, do you have any? What can they expect in the future?
Well, fortunately, guys, the Northeast isn't experiencing anything that constitutes a warning right now for the most part. Just a few winter weather advisories over Pennsylvania right now. Now, what we're dealing with here in the Southwest, that's of greater interest. We've got winter storm warnings over a lot of Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico, and I'll be coming back to those in greater detail for the winter weather forecast right now. Taking a look at the broader national view, this is how the temperature has changed over the last 24 hours, and it's really cooled off here in the Texas region. We're dealing with minus 21 degrees here in San Antonio. That is to say a 21-degree difference from what the conditions were like at this time yesterday. Looking at the current conditions, we have 70 degrees here in Tallahassee, warm as always, and we're one of the only warm places in the country. There's a big pool of cold air bringing Denver 26 degrees, 36 up there in Billings. Denver is obviously the center of the cold right now. And as for the Atlantic seaboard, 36 in DC, 30 in Boston, so they're enjoying this blustery weather as well. Now the satellite and radar, this gives us a good image of where all the weather systems across the country are right now, and I'll be focusing in on each one in turn. Let's look first at the southeast. We've got clear skies over Florida, and as we'll be coming back, John will be telling you all about that in a few minutes, all this nothing going on in the Sunshine State, finally living up to its name after all. But now in Colorado and New Mexico, this is the region that was that big pink and purple splotch on the national map right now, where they're experiencing winter storm warnings, and for good reason. Check out this dense snowfall south of Denver and north of Albuquerque. It's giving them several inches over a short period of time. Looking north right now, we've got similar conditions over the Great Lakes. Lots of snow circling around Chicago, around a low up in that part of the country. And scooting further east, if I can get out of the system's way, we've got mixed conditions. Lots of heavy snow over southern New Jersey right now. More mixed and watery conditions out to sea right now. So taking a look at what our numbers tell us about tonight's forecast, it's going to get down to 18 degrees in Detroit, similarly in Minneapolis, down all the way to 9 degrees in Denver. They're our bone-chilling spot in the continental United States, down to 32 in the capital right now, 47 here in Tallahassee. So how warm is it going to get tomorrow? Well, pretty warm here in the southeast, but not very warm for the heartland. Check out these highs. 49 in Memphis, 38 in Kansas City. That's considerably lower than the minimum temperature we're going to experience, down to 29 degrees in Minneapolis. And let's check out California, up to 64 degrees in San Francisco. I'll be back in a few minutes, but let's throw it off to Jake to take a look at the local weather.
All right, Shane, and the big stories this week locally, once again, involvement fair tonight. We're going to see those chances of rain. We will see some rain on Friday as the system moves on through, but we do have a nice weekend in store. Things are going to be clearing up and drying out quite well. We are above average temperature right now for our high, but we have a 100% chance on Friday, so we will be seeing some rain in Tallahassee. System the rain will start Thursday night, but it should move out nicely for the weekend for things to cool down and dry out. But today we did see some cloud cover lingering that really dissipated in the afternoon hours. Didn't see much of it going on after that, but temperatures currently sitting in the low 70s to upper 60s. Down by the coast, things are a little less moderate, 63 down there and 65 around that range down by the coast, but lower 70s are the trend right now. Taking another look off towards towards Texas, we see the precipitation starting to develop from a low that's gaining traction. We'll be moving our way, changing things from clear and not really anything going on. We will be seeing rain, obviously. So the yellows and oranges and greens are indicative of that rainfall. And as it moves in, we're going to see Friday in the mornings when it's really going to be sitting on top of us. So we'll be moving off rather quickly, like I said, bringing down our temperatures and cooling things out as it moves away. But for tonight anyway, 47, it's going to be a mild evening. Involvement fair going on, 7 to 9 in Oglesby Union. We're going to see patchy clouds and I said, a mild night. Not going to be too cold. Still going to want to bring that jacket out anyway. 69 is our high for tomorrow. High clouds and rain will be coming. So, like I said, Thursday night, going to be looking for those clouds and that rainfall. We have a 90% chance for tomorrow, and it's going to be pretty dreary out there. High sticking around 58 degrees. But what to wear over the next few days? Well, the big story is it's going to be clear, so you're going to want light jackets like we said tonight. Then when the rain moves in, you're just going to want to pile more and more gear on as the rain continues to pour down in more amounts anyway. So for the weekend ahead, tomorrow we're looking at 60% chance in the PM, 100% chance on Friday, then Saturday 56 degrees with a low around 52. But moving on, we see our temperature starting to climb back up. We will have another cold front moving through next week. We'll be following it. Stay tuned with us as we move into the next week, or into next week. But for now, the big story is front moving in with the rainfall going up, cooling us out, or excuse me, yeah, cooling us down and drying us out into Saturday. But Shane and Casey, I hear you guys have got some stuff to tell us about rainfall, Colorado and New Mexico, areas like that.
That's right. Thanks, Jake. We're going to talk about some snowfall in towards some of these areas. Some of this could really be very unusual for these areas.
Yes, we're talking about some pretty significant amount of snowfall here. Denver already reporting 1 to 3 inches having already fallen, and the snow's not stopping there.
That's right. Also, 1 to 6 inches. We're talking about areas at Denver to Albuquerque to Lubbock. We're expecting those in that area. So, yeah, a little bit wintry in toward those communities.
Oh, for sure. Amarillo's expecting near a foot of snow in localized areas. So Old Man Winter's really dumping the white stuff on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could, in fact, be half of the annual snowfall for those areas, which is very unusual even to see this much snow in one event. But we'll watch that closely for those communities as we get into the later parts of this week, as that could be pretty extreme for them, may cause some problems in toward that area.
Yes, it's interesting how Texas is one of these regions that we expect to think, oh, hot plains, tumbleweeds, cowboys, that sort of deal. But they do get quite cold at this time of year. It's very interesting. Half of their annual snowfall in just one system. That's remarkable.
Yeah, we'll be watching that closely, those areas. But we'll talk about, in fact, now a strong storm threat that will be impacting our area. And we'll actually talk about that just a little bit later on. So right now, let's take a little closer look of the Florida weather situation with Jonathan.
Yeah, you have to argue that Florida is probably the best place in the country right now to be, with temperatures in the mid-70s down south, 75 down there on South Beach. If you want to head to the other beach on the other corner of the state, Pensacola Beach sitting at 68 degrees right now. Clouds starting to come in for just about everyone. Pensacola, the clear spot right now, 75 degrees down in West Palm Beach with partly cloudy skies, and these skies are going to be building clouds over the next couple of days. Really Friday, the cornerstone for all that cloud cover. But the thing that is noticeable here today, most of Florida, at least the southern 2/3 of Florida, actually had a sea breeze build in today. 5 miles an hour in Orlando and 7 miles an hour in West Palm Beach. Doesn't seem like a lot, but what it did do is bring in plenty of moisture from the Gulf and from the Atlantic and bring it just inland from those coastal locations. 55% humidity there in Orlando, just a little bit more than along the spine of the state. Still working on that up towards the north. Pensacola sitting at 43 degrees, and that's part of the reason that we're going to see not as much rain tomorrow. And I think it's going to take a while for the atmosphere to really moisten up ahead of the next storm system. It's been dry across most of the state of Florida today. Just a few showers off the coast of southeast Florida. Actually, a couple of fires across the I-10 corridor across the northern part of the state today. High pressure in control for just about everyone here. A couple of those fires seen just west of Jacksonville here. Actually, this is a fire that is now petered out. A couple of showers down towards Levy County now, just coming into the Big Bend and the Nature Coast, coming in from the west along with that flow off the west. A couple more showers down over the Everglades and down across the Keys as well. And that's where there's a lot more moisture pooled up down across the Straits of Florida. Not really anything heavy there. And in fact, these showers are pretty much stationary. There might be actually a fire down here along the Collier County coast and the Miami-Dade County coast there. Just a couple of showers down closer to Key West. Nothing along Central Florida. Another fire seen in our viewing area that is now just petered out with the heating of the day here just east of Wilma in the Apalachicola National Forest. But high pressure is in control here. That means heat across the entire area as well. This is going to change as we head in the next 48 hours. This time tomorrow night, we're going to start to see more clouds on this picture. We're also going to see a lot more rainfall as we head into the late parts of tomorrow. Tonight, though, we're looking fantastic. 59 degrees here in Tampa, and 62 degrees in Fort Myers, 72 in Key West. Looking warm for today in Tallahassee. This is going to be warming up tomorrow night because of that rainfall and the additional clouds. Tomorrow, though, we're looking like this for the early part of the day, and let me stress that 67 degrees in Jacksonville. The main change tomorrow will be in Pensacola and Tallahassee here, with building clouds and additional rain showers tomorrow evening. Now, Shane, we're going to take a look around the country at that snowy weather.
Thanks, John. And we do have quite a good deal to be talking about right now. What we're going to be starting off with are these winter storm warnings here in the state of New Mexico and Texas. The winter storm warning means that we could be experiencing up to about 3 to 6 inches of snow widespread on the outskirts of this morning, with up to a foot locally. That could be pretty severe, especially when coupled with the 10 to 20 mile per hour winds associated with this system. We could be experiencing near blizzard-like conditions. The other areas of interest on this map, the purple area surrounding the winter storm warning. This is a winter weather advisory. This means lighter snow, weaker winds, but definitely winter weather to be aware of. And this blue patch down here in the Texas region, that is a winter storm watch, which means that the effects of the warning are not inevitable, but they are possible over the next 36 hours. So everyone in that region should stay tuned. Let's look at the precipitation that we caught on radar right now. We've got all that snow south of Denver. They're reporting 1 to 3 inches, and up to a foot is possible over the next several hours as the system continues to move through the region. North of Albuquerque, we've got similar conditions. Several inches of snow have fallen in this region already, and more is on the way, hence the warnings. But now let's shift our gaze to a different part of the country right now. We've got this system that's moving through the Northeast right now. Pennsylvania, almost every county experienced snow today, with some particularly heavy snow in southern New Jersey and a mixture of precipitation moving through the nation's capital, primarily out to sea right now. Now let's look at the airport delays that we've got on the map right now. I'm happy to say that there are not many. In fact, Green Plains, 0 minutes of delays across the whole country, although the regions where we've got lots of snow falling right now should take special care just in case dangerous conditions do arise. Now let's look at the futurecast. This is going to show where the precipitation is moving over the next few hours. The snowfall around Denver and Albuquerque, I'm sorry to say, that's going to be sticking around there for quite a few more hours, moving into the early hours of tomorrow. Now let me step out of the way. We'll see where the system begins to get its act together, and the southern part of the system will be coming into our region. Now here's a futurecast for snowfall, and it shows pretty much the same conditions. We've got all this snowfall south of Albuquerque moving its way into Texas, near Oklahoma City, in fact, and that's going to remain pretty stationary over the next few days. So for current conditions here in the tri-state area, we've got 70 degrees in Tallahassee, 65 in Albany, 61 in Macon, where the sun has already gone down, 64 in Montgomery. And now for some more stories, let's send it back to the desk. We're going to be talking about this day in weather history, in fact. And we're going to start off with the blizzard of 2005. Isn't that right, Casey?
Absolutely. There was snowfall between January 20th and January 23rd, stretching all the way from the Great Lakes to New England. The worst of it, though, was in southern New England.
Yes, there was a very significant amount of snow that also brought strong winds, increased blizzard-like conditions. It was just very impressive, one for the record books indeed.
Yes, some areas even had 2 feet of snow from the storm system. Very, very heavy snowfall into those communities, and those snow totals. Very serious situation for those areas.
Yes, and one thing we often get with snowy conditions is low temperatures. In fact, I believe we have a record for the lowest temperature ever recorded.
That's right. In the state of Oregon, we're talking about Danner, negative 52 degrees in that area. That lowest state minimum occurred on this date. But right now, for our local look at the weather situation, we'll take it over to Donovan.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're going to get you set for tonight and for the rest of the week. Let's start it off with weather headlines. Involvement fairs tonight, that's starting here in about 30 minutes, so be sure to get out to that. It's one of the bigger involvement things for FSU where you go and get a lot of information. Now we got that washout on Friday. We're calling 100% chance of rain. It's definitely coming, a pretty good bit of it, but it'll move out by Friday afternoon, so there's good news with that. And it's a nice weekend in store. That goes right along with it. Saturday's going to be the day if you want to go outside. Definitely do. I'll be outside doing something. It's going to be a beautiful day on Saturday. It's going to cool down a little bit, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Now, currently here in Tallahassee, it's 70 degrees, pretty comfortable outside. That sun is probably set now. Partly cloudy. 52 is our dew point. Pretty humid outside. As far as that temperature and the dew point goes, the further away they are, the less humid it is. So right now it's a little humid outside. Nothing too bad. Keep that in mind if you're going outside tonight. Now currently around the region, 70 here in Tallahassee, 66 in Monticello, Mariana around 67. Basically upper 60s as far as it goes up closer to Georgia, and then down towards the coast, areas like Carabel seeing lower 60s. A comfortable evening tonight. It's a good night to be outside if you have plans. Now here's our futurecast. This cold front will be moving in. It's going to cool us down for maybe a day or two, and then we'll slowly rise back up in temperature, and we'll just go through that. Here on into Thursday, excuse me, you see a lot of this moving our way as it crosses Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. It's going to get to Tallahassee by Thursday night, probably around 10 p.m., and it will continue into Friday afternoon. And you see there, right there on Friday morning around 10 a.m., that low pressure is starting to make its way right over top Tallahassee. And then once it sits here about Friday to 6 p.m., all of this bad stuff is going to be gone. No more rain, at least for a couple of days. Now our beach forecast for tomorrow, it's going to be a little windy outside, 15 to 20 miles per hour. That's a good day to get on your sailboat. That surf around 2 or 3 feet, so it's going to be a pretty nice day. Not too rough out there. Don't forget to wear sunscreen. That UV index is extreme right now. And on the water for Thursday, talking about boats again, you know, that wind's going to be a little high, but again, sailboat, that's a good day for a sailboat. And for tonight, we're sitting around 47 here in Tallahassee, 47 in Monticello, basically upper 40s around the board. If we could just keep getting carbon copies of what we got today, I would be happy. Hopefully that will continue until tomorrow night around 10 p.m. whenever we're going to see more rain. And then planning your day for tomorrow, you're going to want to wear maybe a light jacket for tomorrow morning. And then once you get around noon, you're going to want to shed that jacket. But let's go back to the desk.
Go ahead and get right into that, in fact, and we'll see the situation and recap some of the strong storm potential that could impact our area later this week.
Yes, I mean, we've all been saying how much we love the weather the last 3 days, and it really has been beautiful with the sunny skies and the highs up about 70 degrees. Gorgeous. I, like Donovan myself, would enjoy if this stuck around, but that's not going to be the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're expecting very heavy rainfall as we get late into Thursday and early into Friday, or maybe potentially on the order of 2 to 3 inches, in fact, and a strong storm or two is possible, and even an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to get alarmed. We're just expecting rumbles of thunder at most right now. But as always, be on alert, and then stick around with us as we get to cooler conditions and more gorgeous sunshine come this time next week with highs in the low to mid 60s. It looks wonderful.
Yes, should be very nice then. Just a lot of uncertainty, though, over the next 2 days in terms of that severe threat. Right now, looking pretty low, though.
Yes, and if you like us, you can follow us at facebook.com/FSU Weather, and on Twitter. We post updates whenever weather happens in the Tallahassee region, or watch us anytime on livestream.com. We'll be doing our best to get back online there, and we're cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll just keep an eye on the weather situation here across our area. That's severe threat. But for now, I'm Casey Cloud.
And I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton. Have a great evening, and as always, go Knowles.